Yeah, this is a really incredible hike. It kind of goes from Wooster area sort of towards Ceres in the Western Cape. And the first day is an incredibly steep uphill, so we left quite early. Well, we actually arrived the evening before and spent the night in a very rough little hut at the bottom there, and then headed up the next morning before the sun came baking down on us. It's incredibly steep uphill. It's not far distance-wise, but it's a lot of energy to get up there. So yeah, I think we were up by like midday or so after leaving quite early in the morning. But you can see the vastness of these mountains. I mean, it just kind of just goes straight up. Kind of difficult to tell from like video footage, but it's incredibly steep up there. Yeah, that's kind of looking back towards Wellington's down there in Cape Town. And then, yeah, there we have Wellington sort of just other side the mountains, and Cape Town would be further down. And this is the top. We look on the other side, we see the Witelse Valley and our little hut there, so we're going to walk down there now to the hut. So yeah, the first day is very short. This is the little hut itself. Small little hut. This one belongs to the South African Mountain Club. And yeah, the next day we start making our way from the hut down into the valley that you kind of saw previously down below there, the actual Witelse Valley. Yeah, also a rather steep descent. I kind of forgot about it. I did this hike a few years before this and didn't quite remember the extent of the downhill the next day, but it's all to get into that valley at the bottom there, which is really beautiful. Not the valley, but the river. Yeah, with uphills and downhills like this, blisters are always a thing for some. I seem to be very fortunate with generally not getting blisters, but it's a big thing. There you can see the Witelse Valley down there. So essentially we're going to be walking down in that valley and then out towards, or closer to Ceres. It's an incredible hike this. It's not far. I thought it was 19 k's, but it's a bit further than that, but still really not far in terms of kilometers. But because there's no path and you're kind of having to make your way the whole way down, well, there's a bit of a path, should I say, going up to the hut and then back down to this point, but from this point on there's no path pretty much, and it's just a case of making your way down the riverbed and a lot of walking through the river and rock hopping and stuff, and it takes time, or takes me time. Some people run down here in a few days or whatever, but I enjoy taking the time. You can see the vast cliffs on either side here. It's just spectacular. And this is like a little tributary river that's coming in from the side. And it's like another planet, this place, so that's why I love it so much. Because of especially higher up in the river, there's these vast cliffs on either side, so you actually have to swim. There's no way you can actually walk, so you have to wrap your bag in what they call a turtle and then float it down and swim after it. Water's not all that warm, but it's spectacular in its own way. And you could see up back there, looking up, you could see a crack and the sky above, but you just make your way down these crevices. Another really beautiful little pool and tributary And then there's more of this kind of thing. And so you need to find your way down there, and it's a case of kind of, you know, one step at a time. Where should I go, and which rocks look sturdy and which not. It's quite symbolic to life, I remember thinking at the time, and still feeling that way, that, you know, often we don't know where we're going in life, but you kind of get an idea of where you're wanting to head, and kind of just take one step at a time and end up where you want to be. This is the first night in the river, or now the next morning already. Yeah. Sitting down that next morning, you can see the rivers opening up already, the riverbank, should I say. Yeah, this current song is a guy, Onks, from Kailicha, that I recorded a few years back. I think he calls himself Waronks, or him as a band. Yeah, you can see how it's kind of like navigating one's way down. There's no paths or anything. It's kind of often what we all follow someone, or sometimes you go and do your own little thing, find your own little routes, and with different body types and leg length and all that. Often, you know, we don't find the same sort of route, all the same. So again, it's quite symbolic to life, where we're kind of finding our own way down, our own way through life, and then we meet up and we traverse some of life together, and then we go off on our own path. It's quite a symbolic thing I really dig. And yeah, it's this thing of having pretty much, well, actually in this case, on this hike, it's everything you need for 5 days. Food and bedding and everything, and you just kind of sleep on the side of the river. Apart from that first night up on the hill was a little bit of a hut, but the other nights are all just on the side of the river. Yeah, again, it just kind of really connects you with nature. It helps you kind of let go of so much of life and society stuff, and gives you an opportunity to really immerse yourself in the natureness of it. Every now and then you leave the river for a while, and there's somewhat of a path. But then goes back to the river and more rock hopping and swimming and ponding along. But there's something really special about the wildness of this hike. It's just really, it's intense, it's wild, it's full on, but it's life changing. Because it's really this thing of, how am I going to find my way down? You know, I could follow someone, or maybe I can find a better path that suits me better. And it's, just this ongoing thing. And then by the end of the day, you're ready to unplug and stop and, find a nice spot on the side of the river and do just that. There's some really long pools, these ones here. You sort of swim down and again float your backpack down.
The whistle's blown and you're going home. You see the
An example of sort of rock hopping.
You still continue.
This is a guy, Wayne Pauli, also from Cape Town. I recorded at the Barleycorn years back.
Desert plains. It won't be long, no.
yeah, some people prefer to rock hop and others prefer to just kind of get into the water and just mission that way, and others prefer to float, and maybe sometimes we change and we want to do a bit of this and a bit of that. Keish completely hooked on filming her feet. Going from one rock to another.
Swept away on the high thunder cloud.
You can see there I did a little stumble. But yeah, it's a really special part of the world. It's really beautiful and untouched. There's just like no sign of human anything. Although there's Lulu. Although there's, I think, like 12 people a day coming down there for the part of the year that it's open. But yeah, you know, it's just people that are quite mindful about the space and don't leave any trace. And yeah, you wouldn't think there's anyone coming down. And yeah, no cell phone reception at all. There's no exit routes. You've got to actually be quite careful. Actually, there's one exit route, but yeah, there's no road access or any emergencies or anything. You either got to have someone call for help by climbing up the river banks up the mountain there and trying to find signal and call and helicopters and things, or otherwise you got to walk your way out. Lulu the lunatic. Total performer, that one. Yeah, I think you go a bit bosbefok when you spend too long out there. Or not too long, but a decent amount of good time out there.
Dream colors deep of all the
Yeah, there's so much really good local music talent in Cape Town as well. It's really special. This is the guy that's always, yeah, made a big impression on me. This is one of the other nights, I don't remember which night it was, but a beautiful little campsite there. Example of sort of wading through the river. Yeah, it's often actually just easier to get in the water and just float down to kind of find paths and rock hop along the side, and all that is often quite a mission. So if the water's deep enough, it's often easier just to get in the water and kind of float. Yeah, so that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and check you on the flip side.
Thanks very much.